हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम्स।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। नंद प्रणाम प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण सूर्य प्रकाश राम प्रभु जी। नंद प्रणाम। Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and Nand pranam. I invite you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class organized by Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru of ISKCON. And I invite you indeed for and on behalf of His Grace Sri Namarishra Das Prabhuji. We shall begin with our prayers. Prayers are very important, and you will say your prayers along with me, keeping the mute button on. Wow. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते जगोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। प्लीज फॉलो मी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
देवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो
ओम नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
देवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नारायणं
नमो
नमस्कृत्य
सेवा
नरं चैव
चैव नरोत्तमम्।
नरोत्तमम्।
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
देवीं सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतं
व्यासं
देशं ततो
ततो
जय
जयमुदीरये।
मुदीरये।
शृणतां स्वकथः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः
तथा
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः।
हृदयन्तः स्तोयभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरसताम्
हृद्यन्तस्तो हि अभद्राणि
अभद्राणि
विधुनोति
विरोधि
सुहृत्सताम्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु
नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु
अभद्रेषु
नित्यं
नित्यं
भागवत सेवया।
भागवत सेवया।
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी
भगवती
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्ति
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी
नैष्ठिकी
नित्यं भागवत सेवया daily recitation study attending classes of Srimad Bhagavatam removes all inauspicious things from our life. And since we worship the Uttama Sloka, Lord Krishna, it leads us to
Jay,
Naistiki
இதே
Bhakti.
சவுண்ட் வருதுல்ல இப்போ இதுல வீடியோ ஆனா இல்லை இங்க ஆஃப் இருக்குப்பா சீரியஸ் இது ஆஃப் சவுண்ட்
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Prescribed Duties for Mankind. Chapter 16, King Chitraketu meets the Supreme Lord. Verse number 44. Please keep your hand raised, whosoever wants to recite the verse. Nahi Bhagavan Gatitamindam Tvadarsanandrum Namakhil Papakshaya Yatram Sakrucha Vanata Ukashopi Vimuchyate Sansarat. Venkata Narsiya Das Prabhuji. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
प्रभुजी हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी
Hare Krishna.
नाहि भगवन्न घटितमिदं त्वद्दर्शनात् तृणमाखिल पापक्षयः नाम सकृत् श्रवणात् पुक्कसोऽपि विमुच्यते संसारात् हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी
Hare Krishna. Madhubhai Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी प्रणाम प्रभुजी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवन्नघटितमिदं त्वद्दर्शना नृणाम् अखिलपापक्षयः यन्नाम सकृत्श्रवणात् पुक्कशोऽपि विमुच्यते संसारात् थैंक यू प्रभुजी
Thank you, Mataji. Pranandini Madhvi Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवान् अघटितमिदं तद्दर्शनं नृणम् अखिल पापक्षयः यन्नाम सकृत् शृण्वन्त पुकास अपि विमुच्यते संसारात् हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी थैंक यू प्रभु
Thank you. Chitra Mohini Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Nanotpranam Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी प्रणाम प्रभुजी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवन् घटितमिदं तद्दर्शनान् अखिल पापक्षयः यन्नाम सकृच्छा वनात् पुकोशपि विमुच्यते संसारात् हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी थैंक यू प्रभुजी
Thank you. Madhuvati Vilasini Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Nanotpranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवन्न घटितमिदं त्वत्दर्शनात् नृणामखिल पापशय यत् नाम सकृत श्रवणात् पुक्कशो अपि विमुच्यते संसारात् थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Thank you. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nanotpranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु धन्यवाद प्रणाम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवन् अगितमिदं त्वद्दर्शनात् नृणामखिलपापक्षयः यन्नाम सकृत्श्रवणात् पुक्कसोऽपि विमुच्यते संसारात्. हरे
Thank
कृष्ण प्रभु. धन्यवाद.
Revati Ratnagi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवान् अक्कडितम् इदं त्वदर्शना निर्नाम किल पापशयः यन्नाम सकृश्रवणात् युक्कच्छो अभिविमुच्यते संसारात्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Thank you. Uttapa Padma Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय न हि भगवन्न घटितम् इदं तद्दर्शनानृणाम किल पापक्षयः यन्नाम सकृत्श्रवणात् पुक्कशोऽपि विमुच्यते संसारात्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna. Uttapa Padma Devi Dasi ji. Can you read synonyms for us?
यस प्रभु जी, श्योर।
Go ahead, Mataji.
Synonyms: na, not; he, indeed; Bhagavan, oh my Lord; agaditam, not occurred; idam, this; tvat, of you; darshanat, by seeing; drunam, of all human beings; akila, all; papa, of sins; kshayaha, annihilation; yatnama, whose name; sakrit, only once; shavanat, by hearing; Pukkas, the lowest class, the Chandala. Api, also; Vimuchate, is delivered; Samsarat, from the entanglement of material existence. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Uttama Padma
Thank
Devi Dasi ji. Thank you. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord, it's not impossible for one to be immediately freed from all material contamination by seeing you. What it means is Lord's darshan. Not to speak of seeing your personally, merely by hearing the holy name of your Lordship only once, even Chandalas, men of the lowest class, are freed from all material contamination. Under the circumstances, who will not be freed from material contamination simply by seeing you? There are two inferences above and a question at the end. This is all strategic. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 9.5.16, Yan Nama Shruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Bhavati Nirmalaha. Simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord, one is immediately purified. Therefore, in this age of Kali, when all people are very contaminated, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is recommended as the only means of improvement. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau nasti eva, nasti eva gatir anyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Branda Naradiya Purana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced these chanting of the holy name 500 years ago, and now through the Krishna consciousness movement, the Hare Krishna movement, we are actually seeing the men who are considered to belong to the lowest class are being delivered from all sinful activities simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Samsara, the material existence, is a result of sinful action. Everyone in this material world is condemned. Yet, as there are different grades of prisoners, there are different grades of men. All of them in all statuses of life are suffering. To stop this suffering of the material existence, one must take to the Hare Krishna movement of Sankirtana or Krishna conscious life. Here it is said, Yandava Sakre Chakravayanavara, the holy name of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, is so powerful that if once heard without offenses, it can purify lowest of the man, Hirata, Mudra, Pulinda, Pulkashaha. Such men who are called Chandalas are less than Sudras, but they also can be purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord, not to speak of personally seeing the Lord. From our present position, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be personally seen as the deity in the temple. The deity of the Lord is not different from the Supreme Lord Himself because we cannot see the Supreme Lord with our present blunt eyes. The Lord has kindly consented to come before us in the form we can see. Therefore, the deity, the deity in the temple should not be considered material. By offering food to the deity and by decorating and serving the deity, one gets the same result that one derives from serving the Lord personality in Vaikuntha. Lord personally in Vaikuntha. This verse basically speaks about and gives an inference about two things. Number one, darshan, and number two, the holy name and its potency. The chapter King Chitraketu meets the meets the Lord in last verses from 14 to 49. Chitraketu is actually saying his prayers to the Lord. From verse 14 to 17, it says that you and your devotees together conquer each other, and others are all false lords. Even if they are motivated by other reasons. Verses 18 to 19 describes about demigod worshipping and that yields only temporary gains. But your worshipping over it gives, even motivated, destroys all the sinful activities. Sorry, the verse is not 14 and 17, it is 34 and 37, 38 and 39. And then last four verses from 40 to 43, the prayers vividly described the devotees accept Bhagavad Dharma. By Narada's mercy, Chitraketu could see the Lord. Lord knows everything, and materialists cannot recognize the Lord. And then he paid his respect. Now we are beginning from in the last section from 44 to 48, wherein your darshana and holy name are pious. That's what Chitraketu explains in the prayer. By Narada's mercy, Lord Chitraketu could see the Lord and he could worship the Lord. So verses from 34 to 49, there are about 16 verses, which are the prayers of Chitraketu. If we look at in this verse in short, it really tells us about a darshana and tells us that it is quite possible to get immediately freed from all material contamination by your darshana or by seeing you. That's part one. The part two is a holy name is so potent. Chitraketu is explaining to the Lord that your holy name is so potent that even hearing once by the lowest of the men can also remove all material contamination. We know that Lord is all auspicious. Lord also gives darshan, but he keeps all the rights of his visuals with him. It all depends on the devotee or sadhaka, how much love and affection he could collect in front of the Lord and project it to the Lord. Lord doesn't look at anything except the love and the affection. He doesn't divide people or his sadhakas or devotees either by their material opulences, by their renunciations, by their knowledge of the Shastras, by their extensive austerities, but it is the love that the Lord is looking at. Lord is always covered by a curtain of Maya as explained by Kunti Maharani during her prayers. And this curtain doesn't allow our blunt eyes to recognize and see him. It's quite distinctly contrary to say that the Lord pervades everywhere in every atom, and still we can't see him. It is this curtain which always stays between us and the Lord. But this curtain again is a curtain of the Lord Himself. Because if we remember in Canto 1, the 4th chapter, we read through the Vyasadeva having darshan of the Lord. And he details this darshana by seeing that he also saw Maya standing behind the Lord. This is proof enough to understand that Maya also arises from the external energy of the Lord, and it is being given specific work to do to entangle you and me, to contaminate us with the material contamination and keep us here as conditioned souls. You could probably compare Maya with the jailer of an institution of prison. We are in the prison for a good reason. We are rebellions. And we have then subsequently been taking birth and collecting so many sinful reactions that we could never clear our own accounts, and that's why we cannot go back to Godhead where we came from. Remember, we came from that stage of Sat, Chit and Anand, where there were no miseries, no changes, no temporary thing. Everything was blissful, everything was permanent, and everything was very, very comfortable. The word misery was never known to us or heard about it. How to get the darshana, or how to get Lord lift the curtain of Maya. This unique situation being covered by the curtain of Maya is called as a dokshaja. And unless he removes this curtain, we will never be able to see him. It is said that the entire Lord, in total, no one has known him. Everyone knows part of the Lord, part of his potencies, part of his energies, and part of his whatever you call a Saundarya. These things are in the hands of the Lord Himself. How much to reveal to which devotee? And to come to get qualified, we have to pass through the stages of sadhana bhakti and getting Raga Nuga or Raga Tmika, where the bhakti is spontaneous. Developing a bhava or rati as a Sai Bhava as it is known as, and then ultimately entering into a phase of ecstasies where the Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvic Bhava, and Vyabhichari Bhava interact with each other and produce a rasa or mellow, which in turn allows us to interact with the Lord. Mind you, the rasas are created in the phase of prema, and prema is a unique stage, the last stage of the bhakti, the ultimate of the bhakti. That's where Lord gives darshana. I'm reading Madhurya Kadambini, and they described 6 types of Madhuryas of the Lord. Very nicely described. The first is Saundarya, which is the beauty of the Lord. The second is Saurabhya, that is the fragrance of the Lord. This is how Lord allows you to taste His sweetness while you are doing His darshana. So these are the first 2 that Lord allows you, devotee, to experience the sweetness of His beauty and sweetness of His fragrance, known as Saundarya and Saurabhya. Further, it describes His mellifluous voice in the form of Sauswara, and His tender touch, darshana, allows you to touch the lotus feet of the Lord. That is known as Saukumarya. So the next 2 things that Lord allows you to feel and perceive the sweetness is that of Sauswarya, or the voice of the Lord, and Saukumarya, that is the tender touch of the Lord. It then goes for further, and Lord very nicely allows to certain devotees who are in conjugal love with the Lord the sweetness of His taste, known as Saurashya. And lastly, He shows His magnanimity, known as Audarya. Of course, all these things are possible with the Lord when your heart is clean, your prema has reached the pinnacle, and Lord's inconceivable potency, what is Achintya Shakti, that mixes one through the sweetness of the Lord in these 6 to 7 forms. It is said that lastly, it is always the compassion or Saukaruna, that Lord shows his maximum sweetness with. When one has Lord's darshana, that is where all the senses simultaneously fills all these 7 areas or angas of sweetness at the same time, which is not very easy. Our senses only can do that under the presiding potency of the Lord's Achintya Shakti. This is how the darshana culminates at the end of the prema and takes the devotee jumping from one experience into another to a ladder of 7 steps. It's beautifully described here how the darshanas are possible. And these darshanas, certainly, by the time you reach that qualification to have Lord's darshana, you have already been decontaminated totally, purified yourself fully, and have no anarthas, no sinful reactions left in your account to answer for. Lord's darshana, as described here in the first part, instantly decontaminates and disangles anyone who is connected to the material world. The second part is the potency of the Lord, and Lord's name has a great potency. If you utter Lord's name or hear Lord's name without any offenses, with full of heart and love, of course with apt attention, you certainly decontaminate and remove all sins and sinful reactions that have been gathered. This fire of the holy name you have uttered or heard once is so strong that it instantly removes all the sins and burns it away completely. Srila Prabhupada has shown us a path of Sankirtana, and Srila Prabhupada explains to us the detail of Sankirtana, including the origin. It was first recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he described it very nicely and offenses, the 10 offenses that we always count on and speak widely and loudly every day at the end of our arati in the morning, are the offenses which must be completely prevented. And that is where the Sankirtana of the holy name helps you achieve total freedom from the contamination of the material matter. These two aspects are again taken with the deity and explained to us that how deity is very important. You all know very well that holy name of the Lord and the Lord are not too different. Energy and energetic, the one who possesses the energy, are never different. They are one and the same. And thus, Lord comes in the form of deity so that we can put the deity in the temple, worship the deity, serve the deity, decorate the deity, and thus take advantage of satisfying ourselves, of serving, decorating, and looking after the Lord Himself. It is simply because we cannot see the Lord with our charma chakshu. It is so inadequate that Lord has to come with His mercy in the form of deity in the temple so that you can see with your eyes the Lord Himself and serve the Lord. Thus, when we are doing darshana, that's where the Lord is. And all the work that is done for deity is directly done for the Lord Himself. These prayers are beautifully sung by Chitraketu, and Chitraketu believes that it is his spiritual master, Narada Muni, with whose mercy he could have darshan of the Lord. Besides, of course, correcting his path by prevention of lamentation for the loss of a material son, a temporary son, which has no significance at all in the overall life, overall span, or overall existence of the soul. In short, if you look at the whole concept, if we want to change from the materialist into a spiritualist, we need to do two things. Number one, we put our desire as at the forefront of becoming what we want to be in a spiritual path. Once the desire comes, thinking, feeling, and willing automatically comes. And number two, initially, maybe there is a need to force yourself to the regulatory principles, which then automatically becomes a habit and moves into a gear of spontaneity, wherein you don't need to remember to do things. These can further take you on if you are doing it with determination into a further stage of bhava and prema as I described, and lets you have a darshan of the Lord and such repeated ecstatic jump of the ocean of nectar of the Lord will allow you to bathe in it, feel the sweetness of it, which then gradually you become used to and used to live with it. That's where you have the opportunity to do a loving devotional service to the Lord, which is transcendental to the material modes and material desires, which is without any material motives, and which is unbroken or is continuous to the Lord. In short, one totally surrenders to the Lord and lives for the Lord. If you have to describe this in one sentence, the easiest way is to say that remember the Lord every minute and every second. Never forget the Lord. So easy to say, so easy to describe in one sentence, very, very difficult to achieve. And people have to work really hard. We are very lucky that we have Srila Prabhupada with us, our acharyas, our gurus, our Ishadas Prabhujis, and so many senior devotees who are helping us walk on a spiritual path, which is otherwise people do not never know about it throughout their life. Any question, any doubts, any revelation, any addition, any commentary, any complaints, please do not hesitate.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you please repeat those 7 steps, Prabhuji, of darshan of the Lord? I just
Yes,
wanted to
certainly.
note it.
Yeah, certainly. The first 2 steps they are basically the steps to the sweetness or madhurya of the Lord. These are the 7 ways the Lord manifests the sweetness or madhurya to the devotee. First is Saundarya, second is Saurabhya. Saundarya is the beauty, Saurabhya is the fragrance of the Lord. There is this Sauvashya, Sauswarya. Sauswarya is related to Swara, that is the voice of the Lord, and Saukumarya, that is the tender touch of the Lord. There is a Saurashya, wherein Lord's taste, especially in conjugal love, through the Lord's lips, and his magnanimity, known as Audarya. All these things come along because of the inconceivable potency or Achintya Sakti. And of course, the last is Saukarunya or Karunya. That is the compassion of the Lord Himself. Okay, Mataji?
Thank you, Prabhuji, very much.
Thank you.
Repeating Hare Krishna.
If there are no questions, no commentary, no addition, all the words which are true and good are the words of Srila Prabhupada, our gurus, and Acharyas. If mistakes, if any, are mine, kindly correct it and forgive me for that. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patita nama pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you very much for attending the class and wish you all a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji. Nicely explained. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Hare
Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.